Ray J coming out of the hotel, hiding his head, being pushed into the car. Why? I looked and I said, why is he hiding? Or he knows somebody that sells, and he was buying them for Whitney, from what I know.
For ages, we've only been fed one side of the story about Whitney Houston's death and Wendy Williams' downfall. It always pointed fingers at Clive Davis and Diddy. But lately, some jaw-dropping details have surfaced. And guess whose name is being dragged into the mix now? Ray J, that's right, the most unexpected and controversial name. Now, you're probably wondering how the hell Ray J is tied to Whitney Houston and what Wendy Williams has to do with all this mess.
Ray J was just accused of pushing a substance binge on Wendy Williams, but according to this new blind item, he was allegedly the man that supplied Whitney Houston with the substances that made her pass away.
Yes, you heard that right. Ray J has been allegedly accused of running a huge D-dealing ring from the moment he joined the industry. And now he's being accused of selling these D to the legendary Whitney Houston. And don't you think that this bombshell could lead the feds to finally solve the mystery of Whitney's death?
He was allegedly the man that supplied Whitney Houston with the substances that made her pass away.
Now that's bone-chilling because many of you never would have thought of it. But if you think that's the end of his evilness, then you're dead wrong. Recent reports suggest that Ray J is also the one who introduced D's to Wendy Williams. And we all know what happened to Wendy Williams. It's no secret.
I don't hear none of them niggas who was at Diddy shit toasting with that champagne every year. Having speeches with, man. Ain't nobody speak up for this man or nothing.
But should it really be surprising? Remember when Boozy Badass called out Ray J for being a major accomplice of Diddy and helping him in the alleged murder of Whitney Houston? Shockingly, Ray J's name has surfaced again in Diddy's recent lawsuit. And let's be real, Ray J's no stranger to trouble. He's been mixed up in all sorts of shady stuff, from getting wasted at Beverly Hills clubs to hanging out with the wrong crowd. And guess what? It's all closely connected to Diddy. It's almost like Ray's going out of his way to make Boozy believe he's Diddy's partner in crime or something. It's been speculated for years that Diddy has been involved in every possible shady activity imaginable. Now, with rumors swirling that Ray J might be his accomplice, it raises serious questions about what they could have been up to together. Recently, Ray J was seen wandering shirtless down the street, looking disoriented, which suggests he may be unraveling under the weight of it all. So the question is Ray J losing his mind over guilt, or is Hollywood punishing him for letting the evidence slip out? Well, let's take a proper look into the matter. Looks like the rumors about Ray J being a handler in the industry and supplying hard substances to celebrities are true after all. Stunna Girl just dropped some major tea, and she's not messing around. She accused Ray J of shoving stuff down Wendy's and Whitney's throats. Stunna Girl's accusations caught everyone's attention fast. For one, she's been working closely with Ray J these past few months, so if anyone knows the inside scoop about his business, it's her. Second, a lot of people have already been accusing him of having a hand in Whitney's raging addiction and even her death. Stunna coming out with this just months after hanging around Ray speaks volumes, and people aren't planning to let up until Ray J is held accountable for what he did to Wendy and Whitney. And we told you before, Stunna and Ray J have been working together for a hot minute. Stunna used to be on Bad's West, a show that Ray J was co-executive producing along with Lemon and Pepper and Natalie Nunn. Their business relationship developed even more, and it was announced that Stunna was getting her own TV network called Red Rum TV. She would also be having her own reality show with Ray J as the executive producer.
So we just, we just coming in here to let everybody know it's official. This week was just a pre-launch where we just throwing out the trailers. And a lot of people don't understand what's really happening, what we doing, you know what I'm saying? But the anticipation is getting high.
However, not too long after this was announced, Ray J pulled out from the deal. Apparently, Stunna Girl's man, young Rich Moolah, was getting too involved in everything, and Ray J didn't like that. Ray even jumped on the official page of Red Rum TV and said, "We are not supporting Red Rum TV no more. Young Rich Moolah is going to be the downfall of Stunna Girl's career. I hate people who act like businessmen but are little kids deep down. Young Rich Moolah, grow up. Every opportunity you ruin, Stunna Girl, leave that broke man. It ain't that serious." Stunna wasn't having it, y'all. She jumped on IG and dragged Ray J for filth. Stop speaking on me. None but a Hollywood kid who's having a midlife crisis at 50 faking a gangster image once you couldn't pay us for clout and my husband for protection anymore. You started trying to be him. You even tattooed her face like his Elma Obai, wrote Stunna Girl on Instagram. They kept on having issues after this, but it was mostly behind the scenes, and they tried their best to keep it out of the internet's business. That was until a few days ago when Stunna jumped on IG again and went off on Ray J. This time, she didn't just throw insults at him, she flat out accused him of being behind Wendy Williams' current health issues. Let's just say this sent the internet into a frenzy. She claimed he was the one supplying her with the life-threatening substances that she was hooked on prior to her illness. Instead of constantly being worried about me, Ray J needs to focus on what he did to Wendy Williams. She ain't been the same since you took her on that D-binge gang, wrote Stunna Girl in her Instagram story. This was a real shocker because no one suspected for a second that Ray had something to do with that. For those who didn't know, Wendy actually had a serious substance addiction problem dating all the way back to her days as a radio personality. She tried to get help several times over the years but never succeeded in getting a hold on the problem. Things got worse because in addition to her D use, she also became an A, triggering the health issues she's currently struggling with. In fact, even after Wendy got sick and doctors attributed her illness to A and Ds, her son Kevin Jr. said the people around her were still giving her A and Ds, almost like they wanted to keep Wendy in that state.
They basically said that because she was drinking so much, it was starting to affect her headspace and her brain. I think they said it was alcohol-induced dementia.
And for those wondering why the industry would intentionally destroy Wendy, she was actually one of the first people to openly speak about industry parties and closeted rappers in the game. At one point, she even accused Diddy of being closeted, but he blackballed her and threatened her life so much that she had to flee New York because it wasn't safe for her anymore.
Dude was playing with Puff. He went behind him and grabbed his trunks and pulled them down. Some girls that was taking pictures. They took that picture.
Now this is where things get even more interesting. After Stunna made those allegations about Ray J supplying Wendy with Ds, people did some digging. They found out that Ray J has been making secret visits to Wendy at her rehab these past few months. The paparazzi even caught him with her not too long ago. People believe he went to see her to ensure she was still getting those Ds because, as we said before, the industry intentionally did this to keep her quiet. Wendy knows too much, and who better to do the job than Ray J? Some of you might not know this, but Ray J has been accused of being a handler in the industry for years. People believe he was even involved in Whitney Houston's death, just like Wendy. Allegedly, he also supplied substances to Whitney, including the ones she overdosed on. In fact, when Stunna made these allegations about Ray giving Wendy Ds, the first person people brought up was Whitney. One person wrote, "Ray J is a shady character. I can't say for sure he did something to Wendy, but he was on footage leaving Whitney's hotel before her demise." Another one added, "Ray J is very suspicious to me. Why is he always around older women that have D issues? I have always wondered why he is around Wendy because they don't even look like they have anything in common to be friends. I don't like Wendy, but I pray God protects her." At the time of Whitney's death, she was in a relationship with Ray J, and there were rumors that he was paid by Clive Davis to assist in her demise. Ray's alleged role was to supply Whitney with hard substances and encourage her severe D addiction, which she was struggling with for years. Despite Whitney's attempts to seek help through rehab, she tragically passed away on February 11th, 2012. Jaguar Wright alleges that Whitney's death had absolutely nothing to do with a heart attack like her autopsy report suggests, and that she actually had several injuries on her body when she was found.
We saw her body. She didn't just die in a tub, like she was beat up.
But that's not all, because according to Jaguar, Ray J was working hand in hand with Clive Davis and Diddy to delete Whitney as a form of alleged ritualistic sacrifice to move up in the ranks of Hollywood. When it comes to Ray J and Diddy, they've actually been friends for quite some time, and it's not hard to find several videos and photos of them together online. Ray J is a regular attendee of Diddy's freak-off parties, and he's hinted at Diddy being his role model on several occasions.
In the building. Hey, yo. This guy right here, one of the hip-hop entrepreneur, young legends. He's in my gang. He gets money. Yes, he does.
Yes, I'm inspired, though. God is good.
Ray J shared his take on why celebs are keeping mum about Diddy's legal troubles. In a video posted by TMZ on YouTube, Ray J chatted with a cameraman about Diddy's ongoing legal battles. When asked why some of Diddy's closest pals haven't spoken up, Ray J gave a pretty reasonable explanation. He wasn't surprised by the silence, suggesting that celebs are just trying to wrap their heads around the serious allegations and waiting to see how it all pans out.
Still a big question mark. Pray for everybody, though. Prayers go up for everybody.
Well, what do you...
And this is what apparently may have bothered Bossy to claim that he might be Diddy's accomplice. Well, this is not the only incident that led him to the conclusion. Another surprising event that took place in Beverly Hills also concluded the same thing. Ray J's wild night back in May 2014 turned into a total nightmare for him. According to TMZ, the Los Angeles District Attorney hit the singer with a whopping 10 charges following a drunken and reckless episode at the Beverly Hills Hotel. It all went down last spring when Ray J got the boot from the swanky hotel's bar due to his drunken antics. Clearly ticked off, he didn't take it well, and things quickly spiraled out of control. He ended up getting arrested after allegedly spitting on a cop and kicking out a window of the police car. Now, Ray J faces a laundry list of charges: 4 counts of resisting arrest, 3 counts of A and battery, and 2 counts of vandalism. And to top it off, they threw in a charge of S battery for allegedly brushing against a female patron's rear end during the chaos. The cops think this one's a stretch since it wasn't intentional, but the DA slapped him with it anyway. Tough break. People have suggested that the party was most probably Diddy's, and his recent lawsuit suggests the same thing. In November, Cassie Ventura dropped a bombshell lawsuit against Sean Diddy Combs in a New York federal court. The lawsuit paints a disturbing picture, alleging SA, physical A, and some truly shocking claims, like Combs supposedly forcing her into intimate acts with male S workers while he watched. It's heavy stuff, to say the least.
Lawsuit, she alleges that, Diddy, he'll make her look online for BBCs for their freak-out sessions. And she say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her.
Diddy's journey intersected with Clive's when he was a 23-year-old aspiring artist aiming to make his mark in the competitive music industry. His innovative hip-hop concepts managed to captivate the renowned Clive, who was on the lookout for an artist capable of forging a genuine connection with the audience. Recalling their first meeting, Clive has shared that he discovered exactly what he was in search of within Diddy. Puffy was 23 years old, and I knew the artists that I had, Aretha, Dion, Whitney, was one kind of music, Davis says. LaFace ushered in blue-collared R&B at its height. But, sensing the hip-hop revolution, both LA and I agreed that we could use someone really attuned to the street. You gotta know what you can do for yourself, and you gotta know when you need to look to other people. During that time frame, Diddy was working under Andre Harali at Uptown Records. However, encountering Clive Davis marked a turning point in his career, as his impactful words left a lasting impression on the music mogul, a moment that Clive himself vividly recalls. When I met with Puffy, he articulated that hip-hop should be part of the top 40 mainstream, and that the business would change in the future. He continues, and I said, "What have you got to illustrate that point?" And he played me Craig Max Flava in Your Ear, and he played me the then unknown artist that he felt and believed so strongly. He played me 4 or 5 cuts from Notorious Big. Diddy's words held such compelling force that they persuaded Clive, who quickly conveyed his approval, acknowledging that Diddy had effectively communicated his vision. Evident from their actions and numerous reports, the gender orientation of both figures were quite questionable and ultimately sparked the rumor that Clive has been controlling and manipulating Diddy.
For you decided to get on your knees and beg the demon for some bread, and all he gave you was crumbs. That's all he ever really gives anybody. Whatever millions Puff has put into somebody's pocket, he...
On one side of the spectrum, many view Clive Davis as a revered and accomplished producer, renowned for nurturing a diverse range of artists and crafting musical hits that have left an indelible mark on the industry. His legacy and practices have solidified his reputation as a key figure in shaping the music landscape.
Be consistent with what you're writing about. You could go from one side of the stage to the other.
However, in the shadows, there exists a contrasting perception. Some voices suggest a different narrative, portraying Davis as a man with a more complex and controversial persona. These critics label him as one of the first gay gatekeepers of the industry, allegedly exerting influence through manipulation and a calculated demeanor. Such claims paint a picture of a cold-blooded operator who wields power behind the scenes, orchestrating moves that go beyond the public eye.
Oh yeah.
He needed her back, but he needed her back and under his control.
In the intricate tapestry of the music world, Clive Davis stands as both a celebrated legend and a figure shrouded in speculative whispers, embodying the duality that often characterizes the entertainment realm. It was mainly due to the fact that he allegedly mentored Diddy.
Why? Most likely because he was victimized by his mentor, who loved to control people.
Diddy is a name that resonates deeply in the music world, celebrated as a prolific record producer and influential label owner. Yet, behind this illustrious facade lies a curious inquiry into the rapid ascent of his company. Jaguar Wright, a notable musician, delves into the enigmatic sway Diddy holds over the music landscape and the substantial riches that have come his way.
That shit ended real fast. Puff be moving around, you know, but he got that catalog. He got that catalog and he's been making money off of it, and it bought that big old mansion down the street from.
What propelled a 23-year-old emerging star to the zenith of the music industry in an astonishingly brief span? The key might rest in his intimate connection with a prominent music figure, Clive Davis. While Clive has garnered acclaim for his musical productions, he now finds himself at the center of conversations surrounding his romantic endeavors. Following 2 marriages and subsequent divorces, Clive embarked on a voyage of self-discovery, exploring the possibility of being attracted to men as well. Besides S Ventures, Clive Davis and Diddy were also rumored to be involved in Whitney Houston's D. It all started when in 2006, Whitney Houston filed for divorce from Bobby Brown, as reported by MTV News. Their marriage had been marred by controversy, DA, physical violence, and allegations of infidelity. It marked the conclusion of a tumultuous journey. Houston would be granted full custody of their daughter when the divorce was finalized the following year, and they went their separate ways. In a tell-all interview with Oprah in 2009, Houston accused Brown of being jealous and of subjecting her to both physical and emotional
The talk was I was with her because I needed something from her. All I needed was her to love herself the way I loved her.
Following the divorce, Houston made efforts to clean up her public image. Brown, on the other hand, remarried and had 3 more children with his manager, Alicia Etheridge. According to The Star, they tied the knot in 2012, just a few months after Houston tragically passed away in a hotel bathtub at the age of 48. Despite the drama that marked their relationship, it's noted that the love between them endured. Brown reportedly shed tears during a performance upon learning of Houston's death, as reported by The Hollywood Reporter.
If I could get those 2 days back, my daughter would be here.
However, it was proved that it was not her husband who ruined her, but some other people were involved in her downfall. At this point, we all know that Bobby Brown has long been held responsible for Whitney Houston's C addiction. But according to Robin Crawford, the singer of Greatest Love of All displayed signs of problematic D use before meeting him. In an NBC interview promoting her book, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston, Houston's best friend, who also claims to have been her lover, discussed the Grammy winner's history of D use. Houston passed away in 2012, with C use cited as a contributing factor in the coroner's report. D paraphernalia, including a small spoon with a white crystal-like substance in it and a rolled-up piece of white paper, was discovered at the scene. Asked by Craig Melvin when she realized Houston had a problem, Crawford replied, "I would remind Whitney that now you know we said doing coke couldn't go where we're going and we're already there, so we shouldn't be doing it. However, I'd noticed that she would go ahead and do it." Crawford continued, "She was having difficulty stopping." Crawford and Houston first crossed paths as teenagers at a 1980 summer camp where their relationship turned intimate, as revealed in Crawford's book. However, Houston reportedly ended their romantic involvement in 1983, citing concerns about how a same-sex relationship might impact her burgeoning career after signing with Arista. Despite the shift, they remained steadfast friends, with Crawford taking on roles as Houston's personal assistant, roommate, and notably, maid of honor when the singer married Bobby Brown of New Edition fame in 1992. Contrary to the public perception that Brown introduced Houston to D, Crawford's book, as highlighted by Melvin, clarifies that Houston had engaged in D use before Brown entered the picture. Crawford acknowledged this, stating that while Houston wasn't a consistent D user, there were occasions when she would partake, occasionally overindulging In response to the persistent blame placed on Brown for Houston's substance A issues, Crawford emphatically stated that Brown did not introduce Houston to C. She refuted the notion that he brought her down. Regarding this, many reports suggest that Diddy and Clive Davis have some connection with her death. The speculations got further confirmed when Clive himself admitted that he was the only one who was with her in her last moments. Clive Davis holds immense power within the music industry, standing out as one of its most influential figures. His track record speaks volumes, particularly when he launched Arista Records, where he successfully signed a multitude of major black acts. The list of artists he brought on board is impressive, including Patti Smith, The Outlaws, Eric Carmen, Exposé, Ace of Base, Air Supply, Dionne Warwick, Ray Parker and Radio, Aretha Franklin, and Alicia Keys. Davis played a pivotal role in giving Puffy his initial opportunity to establish Bad Boy Records, but his greatest success came when he discovered Whitney Houston. She brought up her dispute with Clive Davis and a potential conspiracy to harm her in the course of that interview. In divulging numerous industry secrets, she unwittingly made herself a target. Exploiting her vulnerabilities and past struggles with addiction, they aimed to undermine her credibility and ensure that the public didn't take her revelations seriously. The unexpected and shocking news of her demise occurred at a time when no one anticipated such a tragedy, especially given the circumstances surrounding it. It was a sorrowful twist of fate that profoundly impacted the music world. Tragically, the entertainment industry has witnessed numerous instances where artists, immersed in the demanding nature of their work, succumb to the scourge of DA. Whitney Houston was no exception. Her ongoing battle with DA and smoking, coupled with deteriorating health, cast a shadow over her entire career until it reached an irreversible tipping point. And now people are speculating that Clive and Diddy may have used Ray J to introduce D's to Whitney Houston and Wendy as well. But his current condition is leaving many questions behind, like, is he losing his mind over guilt? Or is Hollywood punishing him for letting the evidence slip out? Only time will tell what he did. That's it for today. See you in the next video. Until then, goodbye.